Welcome back to another episode of Nursing Notes at the Women's Health Clinic. I'm Jill Crowe, I'm the Director of Relations, and I'm here with Tracy, is a female women's advisor at the Women's Health Clinic. And the topic that we're going to discuss today doesn't get talked about enough, and it's about how menopause affects home life, partners, families, friends, and we're going to explore that in more detail. Hi, Tracy.
Hi Jill, how are you?
She has kindly offered to open up about her experience and her personal story alongside our clinical insights covering emotional changes, physical changes, confusion with all family members and friends, communication breakdowns, how our behaviours change as a family, as a person, and that sometimes we don't get recognised by the ones who we love. So the key message really that we're trying to get across today is that menopause affects the whole family. But with education, open communication, and mutual support, families can survive and strengthen and learn from each other on how to get through this journey in our life. So, Tracy, do you want to start by telling me a little bit about where your story began?
So I'd say initially my menopause journey started maybe 5 or 6 years ago. Just wasn't feeling right within myself, but couldn't really pinpoint what it was. Thought it may be perimenopause. My periods were a bit all over the place. Life then at that point was very complicated, and I wasn't sure if it was stress that was affecting the periods or what it was. So I went to the GP. They said, okay, let's start you on some low dose, as they described it, HRT, which I took for probably 4 or 5 months. Got fed up with taking it, no changes, gave up, just carried on. Then it got to a point where talking to my daughter one day, and she turned around and said to me, Mum, what's wrong? You're never grumpy with me. Why are you grumpy? And I didn't realize I was being grumpy. And then I kind of thought, okay, I'm still not feeling right. And actually, do you know what? I am grumpy. So we kind of looked at that, and then I was like, bet it's my hormones. Revisited it. Now I'm on HRT, have been for probably now just over a year, I would think. Feeling a lot better in myself. But there are still times when I get so frustrated and just the littlest things will get to me, such as my husband just talking to me like he generally would be. And I turned around and told him to shut up. And I was like, oh, sorry, I didn't mean that. I didn't really mean you to shut up. It just comes out of nowhere without you expecting it. And it's like,
Controllable, isn't it?
they're not things that they're not things I would normally say.
Yeah,
And it's not that I mean to be horrible to him, because I don't. I really don't. It just comes out of nowhere.
yeah. It's uncontrollable. It's like someone inside you verbally coming out and you hear it and think, was that me? Was that me?
Yeah.
And it's like the other thing, again, sharing experiences, it's a detachment. And the reason I, exactly like you, went on it is because in little changes. But I think the difference is when you're working, you've got commitments, whether it's children, grandchildren, any work, whatever, you just put it down to, just got a lot on. I've
Mm,
just got
mm,
a lot of things happening in my life. They're like invisible things, yeah. And when it starts, that detachment comes in, I don't know whether you felt that, but I felt detached and that I was doing things because I had to for other people.
hmm
And and I relate to my son, like I was doing things thinking, oh, to do that, not because I wanted to do it. I really wanted to do it because I wanted to like doing it, and everything just seems
Yeah.
an effort. That was my instigator, and I think one message to take from this is everybody has a trigger and
I
a
mean,
line.
yeah, mine and my husband's relationship has always been quite, how do I put it politely, Jill? Our
The way you want,
relationship has
Tracy.
always
The way you
has
want.
always been it. we're talking real life here. So
Hmm.
let's be honest. My husband and our relationship has always been, we're very touchy-feely with each other. We like that contact with each other. And sex was a big part of our relationship. But all of a sudden, out of nowhere, just didn't want it. Just no rhyme or reason. My head would sometimes say, oh, yeah. And then my body was like, nah.
Yeah.
Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean? It was
absolutely.
really bizarre when for both of us, sex
How
has
did your
always been a big
husband?
part of our relationship,
How did your husband take
you
it?
know? I mean, he's really good. He's really understanding. He has read up on the menopause. He was well, he was actually, well informed, shall we say, because he knows the woman's life journey. He's fully supportive of that. And he knows that things change, life changes, but not just our own physical needs, our mental health needs as well. And the fact that sometimes I don't even feel like a proper woman anymore. You know, my body shape's changing, my mental state's changing. The clothes that really used to fit me nicely don't fit me that well anymore, or I don't think they fit me that well anymore. Getting ready to go out, I don't want to go out. I just want to stay in my pajamas. And, Carl's absolutely, fine with that. He understands why. If he didn't understand why, it would really cause some, major arguments within our relationship.
Mm-hmm. And there's
I,
nothing to
I,
do
I
there.
totally,
Mm.
yeah, I totally get that. I'm really lucky where, he's concerned. And the stories I hear from some ladies that I speak to on the phone, their marriages have ended up in divorce, which is really sad because, we as women, we don't have a choice. We have to go through periods. We have to go through perimenopause, whether it's medically induced, whether it's, the natural
Mhm.
progression
Mhm.
of a woman's life.
Yeah.
And we have to do it one way or another. And the reason we get so many different changes, I feel, that aren't talked about so much is because we always hear about the hot flushes, the night sweats, the weight gain, the libido loss. But I think when you break it down to basics sometimes, which we forget, we overcomplicate it.
We do.
When
I
we
agree.
break it down to basics, we've got estrogen to a certain degree in every single cell in our body, to a certain degree. As that declines, you then start to realize that's why there's so many different symptoms because it is
Yeah.
physical, it is mental health as well. And unless we share with those around us, it's not me that's changing, it's my hormone balance that's changing. And the
Yeah.
only way I've been able to, because I'm not somebody that's going to go out and buy £200 worth of vitamins because the package tells me that it's going to help with this, this, and this. I'm on quite a bit of medication myself anyway, so drug interactions,
Hmm.
etc.,
Hmm.
family history, all of that.
Hmm.
So for me, HRT was the right option,
Hmm.
and it's definitely made a big difference.
Yeah. What your story tells is one, it's not forever.
No.
Communication is key,
Oh, absolutely.
and
Yeah.
knowledge is power, isn't it? Knowledge is power.
Knowledge,
Power
knowledge,
of
yeah, sorry.
understanding. Yeah, no, it's a knowledge of understanding, and that you don't have to be alone in this. But the difficulty is, and where you and I both uh, 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 are lucky, I suppose, is in the fact that we have got supportive networks, we have got a community. And for those individuals who do not have that, there is so many resources out there that can be helped, that can help you. The, like I say, we here at the Women's Health Clinic, we give a 20-minute free telephone assessment, where you can book in with for a menopause assessment. There's the menopause charity, there's your doctors, there's the menopause society, there's different apps, there's the Women's Health Concern helpline. There is a lot out there for those people who do not have or don't feel like they've got that support network. And I think The other thing is, I've had many ladies on the phone who have ended up with paranoia,
Mhm.
where they think their husband's having affairs or nobody likes them. And paranoia is a big part of menopause, and it's a not one that, like you said, it's grouped, isn't it? Hot flushes, mood changes, tiredness, lack of libido. Yeah, they're your main points that people resonate with menopause.
No, the physical
Yeah,
symptoms,
the
but the
physical,
mental health symptoms get overlooked.
absolutely, like the paranoia, the fitral
Anxiety.
feeling, anxiety, looking in a mirror and not seeing yourself, seeing someone
Yeah,
different.
100%. 100%.
And I think these are really underestimated and really need to be focused on for people to be aware that the mental health symptoms of menopause, perimenopause, postmenopause, menopause even can be as, as significant as the physical symptoms. And that's where, like I say, you hit the nail on the head. If your husband, like for instance, he made himself aware, he made himself knowledgeable about it. I did a talk on menopause at work, and it was attended by only one gentleman. And when I asked why everybody was there, he said, because I want to help my wife, but
Oh, yeah.
I also want to educate the men who I work with in construction. And
Yeah.
he went out
That's
and,
amazing.
went and talked about the training I did at menopause at work to the men in construction. And I think that is an important key message to get out there, is broach the subject with your loved ones,
Absolutely.
because if you're not aware about something, you can't help someone, can you?
Exactly. Exactly. And the amount of ladies, that we have on the phone that actually they just ring us because sometimes they just want to know that they're normal, that the
Hmm.
symptoms
Hmm.
they're
Hmm.
experiencing are normal, that it's okay to feel the way that they're feeling.
Yeah.
They don't want to talk to their husband. They don't want to talk to their children. They don't want to talk to anyone else about it because they don't want their external network of friends, family, etc., to think that there is something wrong with them.
Once you do talk about it, it normalizes, doesn't it? So
Mm.
once you do talk about
Absolutely.
it, it normalizes conversation. So it'll get brought up, like saying, "Do you want a cup of tea?" It'll get brought up
Yeah.
as a normal, supportive, general conversation.
It's
And
part of your everyday relationship with those
exactly,
people that love and care about you. And I think the difficult thing is actually bringing that subject up to start with. How do I get that into the conversation? How do I let these people I love know that actually I'm feeling really rubbish and I just need a little bit extra support, or I just need a bit more time when I have to get ready to go out, or you,
what would you, what top tips would you give approaching the subject with family members or loved ones, or even external agencies, to say nobody had a partner, or they're quite isolated? What would be your top tip for bringing bringing the subject up to light?
yeah, it's it is difficult. There isn't an easy one sentence, that I don't think that you can give to somebody because it all depends on the person they're talking to, the age of that person. If it's an older relative coming from the generation where we had all of the health scares around HRT, that's a whole different ball game. If I'm talking to my 11-year-old granddaughter, who is just now learning about periods, for her, it's an ideal time because we're now talking about the first part of her life journey as a woman
Mm-hmm.
with her periods, becoming a
Hmm.
teenager.
Hmm.
And it's an ideal time to start talking about hormones
Yeah,
from that
your
perspective.
age. Yeah.
If you're, yeah, if you're talking to my son, who's very health aware, I would just be able to say, oh, it's just my hormones.
Mhm.
I wouldn't actually have to go into further detail. If I was talking to my parents, it would be more of a case of, see, that's where you've got me stumped now, Joel.
Think,
You see,
yeah, My dad is a very old generation. My
Uh-huh,
mum
uh-huh.
has been through it in her generation. She's 70, 75,
Mm.
and she was put on fluoxetine
Right.
for 10 weeks and said
Oh
it'll be over in
gosh.
10 weeks, just go on fluoxetine. My mum was one of the lucky ones and she did in a fast, but that is that generation.
Yeah,
My dad just thinks, oh, it's your hormones. Oh, we better
yeah,
watch what we say. Where my husband, because I've educated him, he's read up on stuff. My sister is going through the same. And it's about, I think you are right, and it's generational. Um, but it's about us approaching saying, look, perimenopause is here, like, is more spoken about now. It's explaining the different stages to your family members, no matter what generation, and saying the change is going on within my body, out of my control, that affects me physically, affects me emotionally. So I might be a little bit more irritable. I might be, and it's anybody, I suppose, um, that I just need support. While I'm going through this, I might be hotter than you, or I might be a little bit more tearful. It's nothing you've done, especially to children. Like it's nothing you've done.
mm, mm,
Um, I'm not feeling sexual. I don't want to be intimate. And again, it's not you. It's just stabilizing my hormones. And then I think the biggest thing, anybody can understand. A lot of people, if you explain things to them and what's going on, they can understand. Go, everybody likes a reason for something, don't they? Everybody likes to know why
absolutely.
something's happening. Like, why
Yeah,
doesn't my wife want to be intimate with me? Why does my man bite me head off over leaving the pots on the table? But if we explain, this is why, and the biggest thing that is, following sentence, I am doing this to help myself. You need to do this to help me. So
yeah,
it's recognition, reaching out and support. But it's the light at the end of the tunnel that's not going to be ever. And what I say to my ladies who come to us for menopause is you control the menopause, don't let it control you. Need to
100%.
control you. You can control it by being proactive,
Yeah,
knowing your symptoms early, and thinking, oh well, I don't think this isn't a known menopause symptom. It can affect anything. I remember a friend of mine, and she had itchy ears, and they were dry, she had itchy ears, she's getting infections, and 2 years this was going on. She went to ENT, she went to the doctors, she had drop cream, and in the end, she found out that menopause could affect your ears, and she went on
yeah.
HRT and it rectified. Itchy skin.
Great tip for ear itching. Yeah, or for
Itchy
itchy skin in
skin,
general.
yeah, aches
Coconut
and
oil is
pains,
great. If you've
absolutely.
got some itchy skin anywhere, coconut oil, I swear by it, honestly, for
Absolutely.
everything like that. And talking about strange symptoms, I had a lady she said she felt like the inside of her mouth was on fire.
Wow.
That I know. Imagine eating a pizza and you've got pizza burn all over the
Mm,
inside of your mouth.
gosh.
So I spoke to one of our menopause specialist nurses, Karen, about that.
Mm,
And I asked if it could be a potential symptom from menopause. And she said, yeah, absolutely. It's called burning mouth syndrome.
wow.
And it's a known symptom.
Definitely.
And, we were able to get this lady, I was able to ring her back. I was able to have the conversation and say, yeah, it can be a
And
menopause
symptoms.
symptom. And yeah, we got her booked in with Karen. She had a consultation, got her
Yeah.
on a stabilized HRT regime, and yeah, symptoms settled.
Listen,
But
when you
who
speak
knew
to
a
ladies,
burning mouth?
yeah, absolutely. And I think there's so many symptoms out there that we put down to, and the amount of ladies who come and go, oh, my doctor's just put me on antidepressants. My doctor's
Yeah,
put me on
their first
antidepressants.
line of,
I'm too young for menopause. Well, actually,
oh,
no.
that
You can
annoys
start,
me so much.
yeah, you can start perimenopause and you like from 30, start menopausal symptoms even from 45. So, you know, you're not, especially with family history, like mothers, grandmothers, things
Mm,
like that,
mm.
you can have an early perimenopause with the symptoms. So for me, don't rule out anything that's not the norm for you. Hip,
Exactly. If it's
elbows,
not normal for you, why is
ab
it not normal? What is
absolutely,
causing it?
absolutely. The amount of ladies, and including myself, pain in my elbows, my hip, and thought it was musculoskeletal.
Yeah.
Started HRT, and it all resolved. Now, on the other flip side of that is HRT is not straightforward. So for myself,
No.
I had HRT and didn't know I was estrogen went through the roof, and I had to strip back and start everything from the beginning again. And this is again, we're very lucky working at the Women's Health Clinic. It was picked up straight away. The signs of estrogen sensitivity was intense headache, irritability, fatigue. I had my tinnitus when I was pregnant. That came back. Heavy vaginal discharge. Anything, and I was like, this isn't right. There's something wrong. Contacted one of the nurses, was stripped it back, and I didn't actually realise until I did stop everything how the estrogen was working, because now the pains in the elbows, the irritability, the detachment, pain in the hips, all come back gradually.
All coming back.
But now I've started low dose estrogen, so
Yeah.
we're back on track. But it's just to say everybody's journey is not the same, and it's both when you have a good holistic appointment.
Absolutely.
So
And talking about age related and the menopause journey is different for everyone. I don't know about you, but I've certainly spoken to a lot more ladies recently that are actually in their early 60s
yeah.
that have never been on HRT
Mm, mm,
previously,
mm,
but they are still struggling with menopausal
mm,
type symptoms, shall we
absolutely.
say.
Mm,
And it's now known that HRT also helps with longer term health,
mm,
with our cardio health, bone
yeah.
health, etc. And I
Mm,
think as we are talking about it more,
yeah.
I say older ladies, they're not much older than me now, in their
Yes.
60s,
Yes.
they're coming through and they are talking about it more with their daughters or their
Absolutely.
friends because it's slowly becoming normalized. There's a lot more work to do. But I think you're never too old really for HRT
Yeah.
as long as you have that holistic all
Yeah.
round assessment, benefits, risks,
Mm.
personal choice as well,
And that's the thing, people are
and
living longer. People are living longer as well, aren't they?
yeah,
And,
yeah.
just because your period stop, or I've spoken to many ladies, 70s, and still on HRT because they've still
Mm,
got the symptoms. Because
yeah.
you've got the symptoms doesn't mean you can't be managed. And people go, oh, it's age related, you're getting older, blah, blah, blah. No, it could actually be a hormone imbalance that's carrying on. People are living a lot longer. Medical health, menopause symptoms can all carry on into
Yeah,
older life. And I think you've
absolutely.
got that spectrum between 30 and over 65 plus into your
Yeah.
70s. And again, I think when you're looking at that long lifespan, education for families, for friends, for work, how to manage menopause is absolutely
And I think
key.
actually, yeah, the workplace
Yeah.
is, a real point where some ladies do struggle.
Mm,
They've got brain fog, they haven't got the concentration that they used to have,
mm,
they're needing
mm,
to go to the toilet more, they're not feeling as confident in their clothes as they used to.
mm,
If they've got a high pressure job and their image is really important to that job.
mm, mm,
Um, I think menopause in the workplace is a really difficult conversation to have, especially if you have got a male boss
mm,
and, they're a younger male boss as well.
mm.
And you're a lady in your late 40s, 50s, and you have to have that conversation with them
Yeah.
to make just a few little adjustments to your working balance, work-life balance, shall we say. But it is so worth having that conversation.
Difficult. It
It
is. It
really is.
really, really is difficult. And the thing is, as well, any of the younger generation having that conversation in your 40s and 50s, it could be quite difficult. Could be difficult with anyone of any age. But the
Yeah.
feedback we get from ladies is, how do I discuss that at work when my boss is 23?
Mhm.
And I've had a few times. Um, just on the back of that, I am going to do a training session on menopause at work, which will be
Mm.
available by the Women's Health Clinic, but also doing on about emotional well-being and everything. I'm doing a mental health awareness webinar on the 9th of December to keep us all well mentally, to become resilient at this Christmas time, which can be quite difficult for some people.
Oh,
Um,
absolutely. Yeah.
and
It's a very
that
emotive time of year.
it is, and especially with related to menopause as well. But Christmas in itself can be quite a emotional, stressful, high pressure time for anybody for whatever reason, and you need to mentally look after yourself. And I'm doing a webinar on that next day. Is that the 9th? Yeah, next Tuesday.
9th, yeah,
So
Tuesday.
I'll be expecting you to come along to that, Tracy, and support me.
Will you? Will you? Where will I find it, Jill? Where will I find you? How will I get to it?
Oh, don't worry, I'll be finding you. Don't worry. So thank you for that, Tracy. That's amazing. So some key themes, basically look after yourself. Communication is key. If you don't feel you can talk to your loved ones about it and you want some key tips, we are here. I'll be doing menopause at work. I'll be doing a session on that shortly. Um, Probably going into the new year. Mental health resilience webinar on the 9th of December. But everybody, just be kind to yourself, be kind to each other. You're not
Absolutely.
alone. Reach out for help and don't think that your unique symptom is not menopause related. Anything that you think is out of the ordinary for you, reach out. We're here, like I say, in previously, I'll give you some resources, the Menopause Charity, NHS Menopause Information, British Menopause Society, which all of our menopause nurses are registered with. I am looking at putting a cafe on in the new year at Harley Street, where we talk about vaginal health, and that is another part that can be really, really affected by menopause with vaginal dryness. And again, we're going to do another podcast on that for Christmas, hopefully. So keep posted, everyone. This is Jill and Tracy signing off at the Women's Health Clinic. Have a lovely Christmas and a lovely New Year. And thank you, Tracy.
Take care. Bye.